In the chaotic world of heavyweight boxing, upsets and drama are part of the game. But few moments have left fans as stunned as when Oliver McCall faced Lennox Lewis. What was supposed to be a regular title defense for Lewis turned into one of the strangest and most bizarre emotional meltdowns in sports history. This is the story of Oliver McCall's unforgettable collapse in the ring.
He doesn't really want to fight. He's crying in his corner. I've never seen anything.
By 1994, Lennox Lewis was the undefeated WBC heavyweight champion, now defending his title for the fourth time. He had proven his dominance by defeating Tony Tucker, Frank Bruno, and Phil Jackson. But on September 24, 1994, Lewis was set to face a man few believed could challenge him, Oliver McCall. With a 24-5 record, McCall wasn't the most well-known contender, but under Don King's promotion, he had secured a title shot. McCall wasn't just any fighter. Known for his incredible durability, McCall had famously been one of Mike Tyson's sparring partners, regularly absorbing the power punches that sent other men running. This was no ordinary underdog. The stage was set at Wembley Arena, London, for what many thought would be another easy defense for Lewis. But what followed shocked the world. Lennox Lewis was calm, collected, and confident, entering the ring like a man who had seen this all before. But when McCall entered the arena, there was something undeniably off. His expression betraying an inner turmoil. It seemed the weight of the moment was too much. By the time he reached his corner, McCall appeared shaken, almost as if he wasn't ready for what was coming. The strange behavior didn't stop there. As the referee called both fighters to the center of the ring to begin the match, McCall didn't move. He refused to leave his corner. Whether it was nerves, fear, or something deeper, McCall just simply stood there.
McCall's gone to his corner now, has apparently forgotten about referee's instructions or doesn't want to participate in them.
Come on here, McCall! Come on here!
Very, very strange. I've seen a lot of fights. I haven't seen this before.
Eventually, after repeated calls from the referee, he reluctantly stepped forward, but the tone had already been set. When the first round began, it seemed like business as usual for Lewis, using his superior reach and footwork to keep McCall at bay. Lewis was patient, throwing precise jabs and controlling the distance. McCall, however, wasn't looking to play a long game. He was coming forward aggressively, taking risks and waiting for a chance to land his powerful right hand. Still, it was a competitive round, with both fighters exchanging blows cautiously. Then came the second round, and with it, the moment that changed everything. McCall, looking for his opportunity, found it in a flash. A short, sharp right hand exploded against Lewis's jaw. The undefeated champion stumbled. His legs gave way, and he crashed to the canvas.
Down goes Lewis, having caught a short left hand inside.
6, 7, 8, 9.
What is this? The WBC's referee has stopped this fight after a count to 9 with Lewis standing in front of him.
Lewis, dazed and struggling to get up, was counted out. The fight was over, just like that. Oliver McCall, the man who had walked into the ring seemingly on the verge of tears, had just knocked out the heavyweight champion of the world in one of the sport's greatest upsets. McCall's victory should have been the crowning achievement of his career. But instead of being the beginning of a legendary reign, it marked the start of a downward spiral that would soon reach an emotional breaking point. Despite these troubles, McCall's rematch with Lennox Lewis in 1997 was inevitable. After defeating Lewis, McCall defended his title once against the legendary Larry Holmes, winning by a close decision. But just as quickly as he'd risen to the top, McCall's reign came crashing down when he lost his title to Frank Bruno in 1995. It was a bitter defeat, and once again, McCall found himself spiraling. Meanwhile, Lewis was determined to reclaim his throne. He worked his way back up the ranks, defeating several tough opponents and earning his place as the #1 contender for the empty WBC title. Once again, the stage was set for a rematch between Lewis and McCall, and the world waited with bated breath to see if McCall could pull off another upset. But behind the scenes, McCall's life was falling apart. Plagued by drug addiction and personal turmoil, McCall was in no condition to fight. He had been arrested multiple times, entered rehab, and was clearly battling severe emotional distress. Yet, despite all of this, Don King, McCall's promoter, assured everyone that McCall would be ready for the rematch in 1997. When the rematch finally arrived and the fighters entered the ring, the contrast between them couldn't have been starker. Lewis, calm and composed, was determined to set the record straight. McCall, on the other hand, looked agitated. But this time, his entrance was not marked by emotions. He sprinted to the ring, seemingly full of energy. In the opening rounds, Lewis took control. His jab was sharp, his movement precise. McCall, however, seemed off. He barely threw any punches and instead took Lewis's shots with an almost indifferent expression. Lewis, cautious after their first encounter, gradually started to find his rhythm, landing heavy blows on McCall. McCall began to awkwardly wrestle with Lewis, offering little in the way of offense. By round 3, McCall started playfully taking Lewis's brutal punches without throwing any offense. After barely finishing of the 3rd round, he refused to go back to his corner and started walking around the ring.
Thing here, folks.
He's walking around.
He's wandering around the ring. He hasn't gone to his corner, and he's trying to figure out what's gone wrong, why he's not into this fight.
McCall's cornerman desperately tried to snap him out of whatever trance he was in, but it was no use. By the 4th round, McCall had completely stopped defending himself. He walked in circles, arms down, as Lewis landed punch after punch. The once proud warrior with an iron chin, who had stood toe-to-toe with Mike Tyson in sparring and knocked out Lennox Lewis, was now completely broken, both physically and mentally. The referee stopped the fight to ask McCall if he wanted to continue, and McCall nodded, but his actions told a different story. Yet again, after the round ended, he walked around the ring, refusing to go back to his corner. At this point, Lennox could have gone for the kill, but he was taken aback looking at McCall's guard down.
There's something wrong with Oliver McCall. He's near tears now. He doesn't really want to fight. He's crying in his corner. I've never seen anything like this. He's overwhelmed with some sort of emotion.
Don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to yourself, man. Come on, thanks a lot. Come here.
He doesn't want to fight.
You don't want to fight? Yeah, you want to fight. Come on.
Sections out.
Come on, fight this stuff. This is for your tournament.
By the 5th round, McCall's breakdown was complete. He began crying in the middle of the ring, openly weeping as Lennox Lewis landed punch after punch. McCall's corner begged him to snap out of it, but it was too late. The referee, seeing that McCall was no longer defending himself, had no choice but to stop the fight. Lewis was declared the winner by TKO.
Well, I've seen some strange things in boxing. That is surely one of the strangest.
Lennox Lewis has just become the WBC World Heavyweight Champion for the 2nd time in his career.
As he left the ring, tears streaming down his face, the boxing world was left wondering, what happened to Oliver McCall? In his interviews after the match, he claimed that he was trying to pull off the rope-a-dope strategy like Ali did in his fight with Foreman. Later on, McCall's mental health was the subject of intense scrutiny. He was suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and his $3 million purse was withheld. He was admitted to a psychiatric ward and later diagnosed with mental health issues. After getting a discharge after 9 months, his suspension was lifted and his funds were released. His battle with addiction worsened and his career never fully recovered. Though he would continue to fight for many years, McCall's legacy was forever tainted by that night in 1997. In the years since, McCall has managed to overcome many of his personal demons, even returning to the ring as a trainer, passing on his knowledge to the next generation of fighters, including his own son. To add to his tragic story, Oliver faced one more devastating blow in October 2021 when his youngest son, Oliver McCall Jr., was shot dead behind their house after dropping his mom at the bus station and returning home. McCall's story shows us that sometimes the toughest battles are the ones we fight within ourselves. The fighter who had once been known for his toughness and durability became infamous for his public breakdown. A man with indestructible chin, who had all the tools to be great, undone by the battles within himself. What do you think? Should Oliver McCall have even been allowed to step into the ring that night? Let us know in the comments below.